because like one of the first things me and Vish were talking about in DMs and online was Matt Stafford. Why Vish thought he would be perfect. This was back when people were thinking like maybe Aaron Rodgers, maybe Tom Brady, back in the offseason. And Vish was like, nah. Stafford. Before I get your thoughts on the potential of Stafford going to the Niners, we asked this because Steve Young's been pushing for it. A lot of people have been pushing for it. And I just happened to watch Stafford a couple nights ago. And man, that guy is better than he's ever been. So what are your thoughts on this, Vish?
Well, first, I'm going to put it out there. The Matthew Stafford would win MVPs, plural, with Kyle Shanahan as his coach. You know, everybody has always questioned how he's done in Detroit with a winning record. Well, he had like 4 or 5 years of winning seasons with Jim Caldwell as his coach. And Jim Caldwell is not like the greatest coach ever. He's just a pretty good coach. And Matthew Stafford is a phenomenal quarterback. And he was able to pull that off in Detroit, of all places, Detroit. Mm-hmm. So I think it would be an incredible fit. Like, he was drafted by the 0-16 Lions, right? One of the worst seasons ever we've seen from a franchise. Like, if you think the Jets are bad, that Lions team was pathetic. They were pathetic. And so he was drafted by that, and he's been through a lot, and everybody's like, well, he hasn't won anything in Detroit. He's had nothing around him in Detroit. I think you give him to Kyle Shanahan, and the talent, like, he's a Mahomes-type talent, a Rodgers-type talent. I think it's, in my opinion, it's one of the 3 or 4 best arms I've ever seen. It's with Josh Allen, Mahomes, Favre. So he's really incredible. So the fit is, as a player on the field, is seamless. I think the bigger conversation is, can they pull off the trade? And to me, it comes down to who the Lions hire. They hire a young guy who they give a 6-year contract to. That guy might be willing to tear it down and rebuild it, because like, maybe there's just, with Matthew Stafford over time, you know, like, it just hasn't been working for whatever reason. And you can keep trying with different coaches, but at what point do both parties, which is the Lions and Stafford, just get exhausted of each other? Like, man, this isn't working for either of us. And I'm hoping it gets to that point, because I think Matthew Stafford has a player option in his contract in 2021, or there is an option for an out. I know that. And I'm hoping that he is willing to come to the 49ers. I think that would be a great spot for him. And I think he could win a Super Bowl with Kyle Shanahan.
Well, I think here's the argument for why the Lions would get rid of him. I mean, it's not that he's not good. It's just that he's always been good. They've never been good. Right. They've never been able to put a real team around him. And part of it is the fact that he's paid to be Peyton Manning. He's not quite Peyton Manning. He makes a lot of money. So let me put it out there. What his cap number is this year is 21.3. That's reasonable. That puts him at 9.9% of the Lions cap. That's kind of the threshold, 10%. I mean, it's surprising that he's right there. Teams understand. They know the history. But then next year, his cap number goes up to $33 million. And under the cap, which is going to be the same or go down, is projecting it to take up 17% of their cap. They can't win that way.
Right.
They can't win this year with him making 10%. Now it's going to go to 17. So that would be the reason right there. Like, trade him for a pick, start over, go cheap at the position. That's been working. The only thing is, we can talk about how good this guy. I was surprised. I mean, the pocket presence, the confidence. He looked a lot like Josh Allen. The thing is, I think they could get a lot for him, because when they trade him, he's not as expensive for other teams. That prorated bonus is expensive. It's $13 million a year. So he's actually a relative bargain for another team in a trade. So I think they could get at least 1 first-round pick for him.
Yeah, they could. You know, if it was a first-round pick and it was just a first-round pick, if I'm the 49ers, I still do it. You're not going to get a player. Like, even if you draft a quarterback, like, let's forget the top 5 guys. You're hoping you can even get a player at the level of Matthew Stafford for the next 10 years. So I would do it in a heartbeat. I think that because of his age and where the NFL is trending and who's interested in quarterbacks, because there is a surplus of quarterbacks in this league, I think that the Niners would be one of the main suitors. I think maybe New England would be in that conversation. I guess you might want to throw out maybe like New Orleans, but their cap is totally, like, it's demolished. So they have no chance. They've nuked their cap to win the Super Bowl this year. So they have no chance, I think, at making a run at him. And, you know, I don't know if New England would really look into Matthew Stafford. I think they are going to go the cheap quarterback route. I think they're going to be their MO, because they're kind of, they're slowly, without anybody noticing, they're slowly re-tearing and rebuilding that roster.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be a lot of veterans out the door. I mean, we're seeing how many young guys are playing for them this year. They always have a lot of picks. So I don't think he would be the guy that they would go after, which I think puts the Niners in the catbird seat to get him.